Okay, Unit 6, Lecture 2B. Okay, one major innovation during this time was the development of the modern corporation. Okay, corporations replaced family-owned businesses as the main form of business organization in the United States. A corporation is a type of business that raises capital. Capital means money through the sale of stock. Stock is a piece of ownership in a company, or a share of ownership in the corporation. Okay, and stockholders then are part owners of the corporation. So two advantages of corporation are its ability to raise large amounts of money, capital, through the sale of stock, okay, and limited liability. Limited liability, liability means responsibility, means the corporation is responsible for its debts and actions, not the individual stockholders. So an investor in or an owner of a corporation can only lose their investment, not their private property, not their personal property. The corporation can also sue and be sued, pay taxes, go into debt, but as an individual separate from the investors. Okay, so whatever you put into the corporation, that's all that you can lose. Okay, therefore the corporation itself, rather than the individual stockholders, is responsible for the business's actions. Two types of integration are used by big business, by corporations, to achieve monopolies. And a monopoly, know the term monopoly, means for us a lack of competition. And without government regulation, we see the rise of huge monopolies. Okay, today when we see the big telecom companies and computer companies, if they want to merge, come together, and even insurance companies, sometimes the government gets in there and determines if it's going to affect the market too much, so the government decides to bail out. So I have vertical and I have horizontal integration up on there in charts. You should know them. Horizontal and vertical integration, Andrew Carnegie, who we discuss in a few minutes, will practice vertical integration. He buys up or owns all of the stages in the manufacture of his product. Carnegie owns all the mines that produce the raw materials, a manufacturing plant for the steel, and transportation distribution to the consumer. Horizontal integration is when a corporation or company owns all of the companies that produce the same product. And an example of horizontal will be Rockefeller, whose Standard Oil at one point controls 95% of the oil refined in America. All right. So besides these, we have many other inventions that also stimulate or encourage the growth of industry in the United States during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. First, the development of the Bessemer process. Okay, that's a picture of the machine. Okay, Henry Bessemer, you should know, develops the Bessemer process, and it makes the large-scale production of steel cheap. All right, cheaper than it was. Okay, and it's more practical by forcing a blast of cold air through molten iron to clean it of its impurities. So Bessemer is an Englishman. He develops the process in 1857. Okay, and there's another guy there also, William Kelly of Kentucky, who claimed to have made the discovery before Bessemer. The two men's rival patents were merged in the United States in 1866, and almost immediately American steel mills used the Bessemer process in steel production. Carnegie Steel will use the Bessemer process. All right, and since steel is both lighter and stronger and more flexible than iron from which it's made, steel permitted the construction of skyscrapers in modern American cities. So skyscrapers is a term you should know too. That means cities are going to start building up. All right, that flexibility is important because those buildings have to bend. All right, they sway, because otherwise they'll snap. Okay, so that's important. Second, we have Edison. Edison will, well, we're going to say he perfects the light bulb. Okay, and he makes it financially practical for commercial and home use. Okay, now companies, factories can run 24/7. All right, so no more days off. We have to end there. I'll pick up with some of the others. That was the end of 2B.